Let's get right into it, guys. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day. And here we are once again. The markets have been a little choppy today. I'm not going to lie, been a little choppy. We had the whole New York Digital Asset Summit going on. And guess what? Nothing burger came out of that. Nothing massive came out of that at all. Like always, nothing to be expected from those kind of events. But guess what? Here we are once again. And the markets today are pretty much in the red. Everything's down about 3 to 4, 5%, maybe 10% at most. Here in the top 100, we are about 1.4% throughout the entire 100% as an average. What happened to Bitcoin, right? Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about what's happening. Make sure you guys are coming in here. You guys are tapping those likes, smashing those likes, guys. Just tap, 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 tap. Send it out to all your friends and families out there. Appreciate everybody in here right now. So let's get into it here. What is happening with the Bitcoin price? It's actually pretty simple what's happening with the Bitcoin price. We had a nice little run here, right? Yesterday, we had a massive little steep, little slow grind all the way to the upside. And then we hit the previous day high. We came back down. And we started falling back down. And this whole morning, we were just going sideways here, going sideways here, going sideways here. But this gold pocket, right? I was looking for this previous week high to break and drop down, and it did exactly that. Now, first, it surprised me. I was not paying attention to this gold pocket up here, which comes from this top to this bottom. We get this gold pocket. We ran it up to the gold pocket exactly at the gold pocket. Boom, smashed it, and since then started dropping like it's hot. We fell to the previous week high, which was a massive signal for, hey, this drop is going to go lower. And guess what? It did. It came down to the Monday high. I was really targeting this daily naked point of control of 83,439 bucks, which is also a gold pocket here as well. But it front ran it. It front ran it by like 100 bucks. And it started climbing back up above the Monday high. I closed my short a little early, somewhere around this area right here. I also had a more aggressive, bigger short since I didn't get the very top either. I got somewhere in the middle section, so I had to be aggressive with the short. Get in, get out, make my money, and get out. All right, couldn't hold on to it because it could have gone against me. But nonetheless, it was a great short. It was definitely the trade of the day for sure, was taking this short right here and riding this bad boy all the way down, which we did in the Crypto Citadel. So if you guys want to make sure you guys are in there, make sure you guys are not missing out. The link is in the bio. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in and smashing those likes. Let's keep it going here. So let's go jump on over to Ethereum. Ethereum is in a very similar traction. Pretty much everything's pretty similar here. But one thing to note is, even though we had a red day today, right? We came back down. We're retesting right now. We're retested this yearly 24 average of 1978, and we're still above that right now. We're sitting on this line. We came down a little bit lower to about 1954, and we're starting to close out here above this yearly pivot, which is very, very important for Bitcoin. If you guys are not paying attention, this is where you want, not Bitcoin, for Ethereum. You want Ethereum to stay above this yearly pivot. This is going to be where the bullish momentum, the bullish foundation starts coming in, right? This is kind of like the bottoming out situation. And meanwhile, Bitcoin stays above 80,000, even though we came down to 84. Meanwhile, we stay above 80,000. I'm bullish. I think the crypto markets are going to continue slowly grinding on the way up. And Ethereum here bottoming out, staying above this yearly pivot is a good sign of that as well. So I'm very optimistic for Ethereum. We have targets all the way up to 2176. We have targets up at 2543. We have targets all the way up to 3182 and even as high as 3863 before we start reaching that $4,000 level again for Ethereum. Now, guys, make sure you guys are dropping into the chat what altcoins you guys want me to cover. If you are not, definitely go do so. Start dropping those comments. Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here right now. Give me a second here. Making sure everything's good. All right. All right. Let me see. How do I... Guess I can't see that. I don't know why. Appreciate all of you guys tapping those likes. Let's get 1,000 likes rocking and rolling here. Appreciate every single one of you in here jumping and smashing those likes. All right, let's jump back on over here. So Solana, let's jump on over to Solana here as well. The Solana price has just continued to just slowly go sideways here, right? Slowly going sideways. It's super boring. Most altcoins are extremely boring right now, not really having any major move at all, as Bitcoin is slowly grinding up and then slowly grinding back down to the side. And just kind of having a lot of sideways price action, which is not interesting, is not fun. I know most people are struggling with it, but I appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. I could definitely agree with that. So Solana here needs to get above this 143, right? 143 is a weekly MPOC. We need to get above that, start moving back into the February range here and get above its yearly pivot, which is 177. Doing that gives us a momentum to go for the targets of 194 to 197, along with 235 to the upside, and where we have a gold pocket as well at 236. And then obviously the all-time high is at 295 for the good old Solana. Wait for people to jump in here. I feel like everyone's being so shy today. Being so shy and quiet. Don't understand why everyone's being so quiet. Give me a second here. Can I now see the chat? Is that what's happening? I think I can't see the chat for some reason. Why can't I see the chat? Give me a second here. I actually can't see the chat right now. What the heck is going on? Interesante. I don't know why I can't see the chat. I'm trying to get it fixed. Nope, didn't want to do that. What is going on? Okay, hold on. Now things are getting confusing. What the heck is this thing behind my head? Talk about technical difficulties here. What is going on? Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Don't know what this thing is behind my head. I guess it's just gonna have to stay there. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in here. Oh, here it is. Got rid of that thing. That was bothering me. Oh, talk about technical difficulties. All right, let's jump in here. Let's get the show really rocking and rolling. Sorry about that, guys. Appreciate all of you guys hanging in there through these technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I was just had to figure out what was going on there. I was having some technical difficulties, but I appreciate everybody jumping in here, smashing those likes. Let's see here. Now I can see the chat. Now I can see the chat. Decent news. Everything's down and in the bear flag. Let me see. Let's go take a look here. I mean, I'm looking down at the 15-minute stuff. We jump out to the daily for Bitcoin. Let me turn off my daily trade set. You know, we are still creating lower highs. We need to get above this $90,000 area. Ideally, run it up to the $98,000 area to start breaking the market structure of this downward trend, right? I know this is a bit of a messy chart here, a lot of things going on it, but this is what needs to happen. We need to break above 98,000 and start making a higher high and break out of this downtrend of lower highs for Bitcoin, because if not, it's just going to be continuous sideways price action forever. I mean, but at the end of the day, we do know that that's coming to an end at one point or another. It's coming to an end for the simple fact that quantitative easing, quantitative tightening is coming to an end. We saw Jerome Powell talking about it at the Federal Reserve meeting yesterday. Please stop spamming, dude. I swear, man. All these people spamming, that's just a quick way to getting blocked. What do you think of the Trump meme coin? Is it possible to go back to 75? Dude, I don't see that thing going back to $75. You know, that's going to highly depend on a massive altcoin season. We're going to have another huge meme coin season. And maybe they can resurrect that thing and bring it back up and get some momentum. But dude, the Trump coin right now, that thing is sitting at $11 right now. Sitting at $11. Still higher than my entry point, which is great. Which is why I'm holding on to it, which is why I took profit and created a moonbag, because I knew the Trump thing wasn't going to last. But at the end of the day, I do not believe that this thing is going to have any type of major rally to the upside, which I could be completely wrong. I don't see us breaking above $75. Maybe we go back around $30, $40. You know, maybe, but I don't know, man. There's just so much with the meme coins, but anything's possible. I have been surprised by the meme coins time and time again. Ada, Sui, and Ondo, please. Thank you for the roses. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. Ada, let's go take a look at Ada's chart here. So Ada has been sitting here, right above the anchored VWAP, sitting within the what is this? This is the February range. The only time we had a massive move to the upside here, this massive green candle for ADA, is because of the simple fact of the tweet from Trump came out saying that ADA was going to be added to the stockpile, the digital asset stockpile, and they shot right up. And then obviously it came back down, giving up all those gains once again. We do have a target up at a weekly average up at 86 cents that we need to tap. Currently, we are just holding above this anchored VWAP, which is very, very good. We have already tapped the 59-cent area. I do not see ADA dropping down to 36 to 35 cents unless Bitcoin loses $80,000. If Bitcoin loses $80,000, then yes, that is going to be a massive loss for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin loses $80,000, it's going to get very bearish here. And then I do believe ADA could be dropping down to 36 cents, because if Bitcoin loses 80,000, I see Bitcoin dropping close to 86, 67 or lower. So that is a major thing to be looking out for. Now, to the upside, we do have a target up at $1.20. We do have a target up at $1.20. We flip 120. We do have some more targets, one at 178 and 215 to the upside, before potentially running all the way to the all-time high of $3.10. So that's what I'm seeing for ADA. So what was that? That chat also said, another one said ADA. SUI and ONDO. Let's go take a look at SUI. I know it's not pronounced SUI, but I like saying it like that. All right. So SUI has come down, filled the gold pocket down here around $2.16, came all the way to the Q4 NPLC of $2.01 on March 11th. Since then has been bouncing back up slowly, and we do need to get above the yearly pivot of $3.18. Where's this gold pocket at? Let me readjust this and bring it all the way downtown. All right, cool. We have a gold pocket up at $4.17, and we do have a target at $4.81 to the upside. Getting above the yearly pivot will show some sign of strength, and getting and flipping this little red zone, this resistance zone between $3.50 to about $3.64. We'll probably be breaking this market structure of this downtrend. As you can see here, we have a very steep downtrend to the downside. Let me turn this magnet off. All right, just a very steep downtrend overall. We need to get above this red zone here, hit this gold pocket, and keep getting and get back into the January range to break that market structure, which would be great for SUI. Obviously, if SUI does not recover, if Bitcoin keeps dropping, right, then all the altcoins are going to start dropping again. But I do believe that Bitcoin has been bottoming out, and that the altcoins are starting to bottom out as well. Because if we look at the altcoins here, if we look on the yearly, the grand majority of altcoins are down over 50%. Over 50%. Yes, we have some in the green, right? But the grand majority are down over 50%. Those are pretty much like bear market bottoms. Let's go take a look at ONDO. ONDO's done some similar things. We are below the yearly pivot. We came all the way down to the Q4 naked point of control here of 73 cents. And since then, we're bouncing back up, kind of just finding some support around here. Let's get a gold pocket here from this top, right, from this tip top all the way down here. We have a gold pocket sitting right below the monthly MPLC at $1.65. So we do have two targets up here at 132, which are weekly targets. This daily target got taken out. This yearly pivot is very important to get back above. So getting above this yearly pivot obviously is very critical. Let me see here. This is the month of February. Let's get that real quick. Yeah. We also have a monthly MPLC up here as well. So we have three targets up around $1.32 that are going to be very important to hit. And then if we can continue to build some momentum there at that point in time, if we do hit those targets, we will be breaking market structure, coming back up. We'll have a target at 120, at 165, and a target at 171. Like I said, most altcoins look like this, very steep decline overall. And then we've kind of hit these bottoms from Q4 or so, and we've just been consolidating at those levels, as Bitcoin's been doing pretty much the same thing as well. So I do think that everything is pretty much starting to find a bottom here. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in, hitting those likes, and trying to catch up with the chat here. Bro, what about Toncoin? Toncoin's been having some nice moves. Guys, if you're not in the Crypto Citadel, definitely do so and join. The Crypto Citadel has been doing extremely well lately. We've gotten back on the grind and have been just taking as many trades as possible, obviously with proper risk management. Where's my Ton chart, man? Oh, I think it's on Mexi. Yeah, here it is. So Ton has come back into the February range, hit its two targets here of $3.74 and 79 cents. Since then, we've been kind of getting a little pullback. We could come back down to $3.15. We've had a very steep climb here. If we get a little bit of a gold pocket retracement from this top, this being the high, we have a gold pocket sitting down here at 294. I do believe it's possible that we come down and hit the 315. Even if we don't, that's okay. But we're back in the February range, which is good. We do the next target to the upside if we continue climbing and get back above 395 is the 433 weekly average. And then above that, we have a monthly average up at $5.10 as well, along with a macro gold pocket all the way at $6.20 for ton. Let me see here. Sorry about that. If you guys aren't in the Crypto Citadel, definitely hope you guys are getting in there. We have daily trade setups for altcoins, for Bitcoin. We have signals that are being posted in there. We had a little bit of a small stop hit today, but we made that back up with a nice. Where's my trade from today? Did I not post it back inside? No, I guess not. I guess I did not. It's okay. You guys probably seen the video on TikTok anyways. But we took this short right here. If you guys are not aware of what I'm talking about. In the Crypto Citadel, I posted a signal about shorting, right? Shorting the previous week high if we lost it and started coming back down. I was looking for this. We took the first trade, the first short. We got stopped out because Bitcoin did this massive reversal here from around here all the way back up to this gold pocket. I wasn't paying attention to this gold pocket. Saw the gold pocket, saw that it tapped and came back down to the previous day high. And then once it did that, let me turn my... Once we came back to once we hit that and started getting the massive reversal to the previous week high, that's when I jumped back into my short, and I closed it right above the Monday high over here, cashing out about $800. So I made up for the little $200 loss that I made there today. So that was fantastic. But if you guys are not traders, that's okay. You guys can still join the Crypto Citadel. The macro analysis in the Crypto Citadel more than compensates for people that are not traders, showing you targets to the upside, targets to the downside for potential dollar cost averaging, targets to the upside for potential take profits, right? So you can have a game plan, posting all this data here for you, so you can have a game plan for when these price levels hit, right? And even though you're not a trader, you understand what's coming, and you can start game planning. Because if you don't have a game plan, that's how you get wrecked. If you do want to start trading, if you do want to follow along with my signals and some of the live sessions that we're going to be doing, then that's going to be very beneficial for you as well, to just be in there, to be able to catch the signals. What's going on, WP? Good to see you, William. Good to see you jumping in here, buddy. Let's keep on with the chat here. Is Fed going to start printing money soon? I do believe so. I do believe we're going to start getting an interest rate cut somewhere around the next Fed meeting around May to June time. We're going to probably get a Fed rate cut at some point in time, and probably later into the summer, we're going to start seeing some money printing action happening. It's going to take a few months to play out. It's going to see a few months for it to actually start taking action. But I think once it happens, it's going to be very, very fast. Don't know how to trade just spot. That's perfectly fine. Just spot is great for beginners, dollar cost averaging people that are doing it long term, right? And that's what the macro analysis that I post is for us, so you can know what kind of targets you can expect to the upside. And when you get to those targets, right, you can have a game plan to potentially take some profits or not, and not just like, oh, it's going to go higher. How much higher is it going to go? We don't know, right? And if you start hitting some targets to the downside, you start knowing, okay, I'm going to dollar cost average here. I'm going to dollar cost average here. These are some of the potential lows, and spot trading is fantastic. Let's see here. If you don't own XRP, what are you doing? I don't own XRP, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm buying things and I'm investing in things that actually fix problems, and I don't believe XRP fixes any real problem. I don't think XRP has any real, unique advantage along to other cryptos. The only advantage it technically has is not a technical advantage. It's just a business aspect. Is the fact that Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple company holds 60% of the supply for XRP, which I think is terrible tokenomics. And for some reason, people love that. And they are the ones out there making all the lobbying and all the pushing for XRP adoption. But I've never seen any institutional demand. I've never seen any banks or any other industry on its own say, yeah, we've looked into XRP and we really want that technology. It always comes from, it always comes from Brad Garlinghouse making some announcements. It always comes from Ripple making some announcements. It always comes from Ripple pushing, but nobody is out there just saying, yeah, we want XRP. XRP is going to fix our national debt problem. They just don't, right? But Bitcoin has nobody pushing for it. And yet people on their own, companies on their own, nations on their own, start to realize what Bitcoin is. And they're the ones saying, yeah, we want Bitcoin, right? Without anyone having to push it on them. What do you think about the bull run? When is it going to start? So, man, the bull run's been happening, right? The bull run's been happening for many months now, actually over a year at this point in time, right? We're in 2025. It's been happening since 2023. We're probably coming to the later part of the bull market. If we are going to have an extended bull cycle into 2026, we will see. That's still possibly on the cards, right? Nobody knows. But if not, pretty much the ending of the bull market is coming relatively soon, within the next 12 months. All right, within the next 12 months, the bull market is going to be over if we stick to the 4-year cycles. Now, I do believe the 4-year cycles have broken and that we won't continue to see the same momentum that we've seen in the past every 4-year cycle situation. And why do I say that? I say that because of institutional demand that has come into crypto, come into Bitcoin. I just don't believe that they will just allow us to continue timing the market, right? I think Bitcoin is going to be going into longer consolidation zones, right? To the upside and to the downside, and just having mini bear markets and mini bull runs, right? But this extended, massive, 4-year cycle, pre-planned time thing is just not going to continue playing out. What about the contracts Ripple has with banks all over the world? Well, okay, cool. Ripple has all these contracts with banks all around the world. Why isn't XRP flying off the handle right now? Tell me. Oh, because the SEC lawsuit. Well, that's just in the United States. Why aren't all those banks around the entire world right now using XRP and pumping XRP's price? Why is XRP's price still following Bitcoin's price? When Bitcoin pumps, XRP pumps. When Bitcoin dumps, XRP dumps. Oh, the SEC lawsuit is pretty much over at this point in time, right? Why isn't XRP continuous to pump? Why did XRP just pump 10% and stop? Oh, that's right, because Bitcoin pumped about 1 to 2% and then it stopped, right? So XRP isn't breaking away from the altcoin scenario. It doesn't have anything that will allow it to break away from Bitcoin in the altcoin market. So therefore, once again, I don't believe that any of these banks, even if they are using XRP, right, they might be using the technology, but even if they are, they're not affecting the price. And if they're not affecting the price, then who really cares? Who really cares, right? Everybody buys XRP because they believe that once the banks start using it, the price of XRP is going to go much, much higher. But if banks are already using it all around the world and the price is not going higher, then that defeats the purpose to buy XRP. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, am I telling you not to buy XRP? No, I'm not telling you to not buy XRP. You guys do whatever you want, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you guys what to do or not to do with your money. Can you change the bubbles to the weekly? This is the weekly. Oh, no, sorry. I was on the monthly. This is the weekly. I was on the yearly, actually. My bad. This is the weekly right now. Bank of America said it's in a test run. What does it need to test and for how long? Banks have been saying they're in a test run with XRP since 2017. Since 2017, they've been talking about these test runs. It's been almost 10 years. What more are they waiting for? Or are they just using these test runs as ways to learn about the XRP technology to then go build their own stable coins and go build their own ledgers, their own blockchains, and not have to use XRP at all? Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. XRP, the biggest thing for banks since sliced bread. Yeah, and Guess where it's going? Nowhere. What other tokens are banks doing test runs with? Banks aren't using any. Crypto's not about banks, guys. That's first of all. Crypto is about being your own bank. That's the number one thing you guys need to realize. Crypto is about being your own bank, holding custody of your own crypto, having no middleman handling your money. That's the first concept of crypto. That's why not your keys, not your coins, right? It's that simple subject right there. That's first of all. What do people actually do with Bitcoin? Well, we have nations creating reserves, right? We have nations and companies like MicroStrategy. There's 80 other companies in the United States alone that are all buying Bitcoin and putting it on their ledger, putting it on their balance sheet as an investment, right? We now know that banks can start using Bitcoin, can hold Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, give out loans in Bitcoin, even run validator nodes for proof of stake models like Ethereum and so forth, so that they can earn a yield, right? They can start doing all these things. Are they doing it yet? Probably not, but they can, right? And it's been that simple. Yet everybody with these banks, exactly. Be your own bank. Forget these banks, bro. Forget the banks. The banks aren't here for you. Everybody that supports XRP is supporting the banking system, and the banking system has never supported you. The banking system is your enemy, bro. And everybody loves to buy in onto the XRP cult. XRP cuts all the middleman cost, waste for banks. XRP is the middleman, bro. XRP is the middleman. Why? Because XRP is controlled by a company called Ripple, and they hold 60% of the supply in their little escrow or whatever the heck is you call it, right? They are the middleman. Bitcoin has no middleman. It's just you and the other person, and every other altcoin allows you to have no middleman. XRP and banks using XRP makes Ripple the middleman. And all the banking power goes over to Ripple. All the Federal Reserve powers from the Federal Reserve go over to Ripple if that shift were to ever happen. Do you really think they're going to want to do that? Come on now. Have you added that's changed any holdings in your portfolio? I haven't added any new cryptos. I've just been dollar cost averaging the same cryptos that I've been holding. XRP is a money processor machine that nobody uses. And even if they are using it, it doesn't help the price. It doesn't help the price at all. XRP will crush the bank transfer fees. Cool story, bro. But guess what? It's not pushing up your XRP price. So, XRP hater, you are so wrong. I'm so wrong. Prove that I'm wrong. XRP's been around XRP's been around since like 2012. 2012, 2013, or 2014, somewhere around there. It's been around 10 plus years. And it hasn't done ding dong squat. It just hasn't. But any minute now, guys, remember, any minute now, the switch is going to be flipped. Just got to keep waiting. You just got to keep waiting, guys. Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell you that nothing's been happening with XRP. All these banks around the world that have been using XRP are still not pumping the price of XRP. Bye. So if you have XRP, you are the middleman. No, you're still not the middleman. Ripple's the middleman because Ripple will control your XRP. And if they want to stop your ledger, if they want to stop your transaction, they can make it so. It's that simple. Let's see here. Can you check out DOT? Yeah, let's go look at DOT. Let's go look at some TA. You guys get me hyped with all this XRP nonsense, bro. Okay, let me update this here real quick. All right. January. Come on, January. February. There's a lot of sideways action here. So, okay. Get rid of this right here. Let me get rid of these ranges and they don't serve any purpose. So DOT has come down from $11.50 all the way back down to the Q4 NPLC at $4.19. And since around February 3rd, we've just been hovering around this area. We need to flip this resistance zone of $5.84, right? If we do, our next targets are going to be this yearly pivot here of $7.37. Getting above that will potentially break the market structure of this very steep downtrend here, right? And then we have a target of $8.10, which is an untapped monthly pivot. And we have a monthly naked point of control up at $9. Those are the targets to the upside for DOT. The grand majority is pretty much at its lows already from 2023 to 2024. Polkadot has pretty much bottomed out here around $3.68. And if we are going to have an altcoin rally, I don't think this is going to be going much lower anytime soon. Can always be wrong. If Bitcoin loses 80,000, like I said before, it's going to be very bad. But I do think most altcoins are bottoming out here. Bull run is over. I don't believe the bull run is over. Let me see here. Thoughts on Move? Was wondering since one of the World Liberty Finance holdings. I don't really know too much about Move and where it came from and why World Liberty Finance is buying into that. But you know, it is what it is. Consider, y'all think we're going up from here, or are we going down later on Bitcoin? I mean, I definitely think Bitcoin's going to go up. I definitely think that Bitcoin has been bottoming out right now. Obviously, we have been just chopping sideways here for quite some time. But meanwhile, Bitcoin stays above 80,000. Holding this $80,000 line is critical for Bitcoin. We hold 80,000 and Bitcoin's bullish. We start losing 80,000 and it gets bearish very quick to the point where we could be dropping down to as low as we've already came down here on March 11th. We came all the way down to 76,000 and we bounced back up very quickly and started getting back above 80,000. If we lose 80,000 again, we do have targets all the way down, especially this yearly NPLC down at $67,000 that you can see right here behind my head. That's going to be my next major target. Obviously, we have two targets here at 74 to 73, but right after that, 67 is on the cards heavy. And we obviously have more targets all the way to the downside, all the way to 54,000. But at that point, you know, bull market completely over. Definitely extreme bearish sentiment. It's going to be very, very bad. I'm all in. I'm all in on Link. How's that looking? Let's go take a look at Link. Link's been playing out fantastic, man. Link came down, right? We came all the way down to $11.78. Right here to this little support resistance zone, bounced back up above the November NPLC of $14.70. Since then, we've pulled back down today again. This yearly piv's already been tapped. We don't need this. We do have a naked point of control here for the month of February up at $18.72. Above that is the yearly pivot that is very critical for all altcoins to get back above and hold that area to be able to break this market structure. Right, so breaking above 1970, which is basically $20, is going to be very, very important for XRP. We still do have a naked point of control down at $11.04 that has not been tapped just yet. So that is something to keep an eye on. If we have a little bit of a downturn, watch out for that $11. But I would be buying heavy at $11. Let's see here. Read XRP news from morning SEC drops 4-year case against it. Yes, I saw that it dropped the 4-year case on it. And guess what? XRP didn't move. XRP didn't move. The most bullish news ever for XRP, and XRP didn't move. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Why are we getting the most bullish news for XRP ever, yet XRP's price not moving? Why is XRP's price not bursting of well above $3 and rocketing it back to its all-time high? Why? Because Bitcoin runs the show. Bitcoin runs the show, but the XRP cult wants you to believe that XRP is this suppressed asset that is just being held back on a leash. And any minute now, it's going to be released and it's going to take over the market and it's going to decouple from Bitcoin and it's going to start running the crypto market, and that it's going to get over $1 trillion asset class in a moment, and it's going to overtake Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this Fugazi nonsense, and it's going to go to $589. And that's just not going to happen, guys. That's just not going to happen. Research XRP tokenomics and you will never own it. Yeah, 100% WP. 100%, man. XRP tokenomics are some of the worst tokenomics in all of crypto. Any other asset you see an exact copy of XRP's tokenomics, you wouldn't buy it. You'd be like, no, that's a scam. That sucks. Yeah, XRP has this immunity to this because they're working with the banks. The banks that are your friends that want to help you make so much more money. What does ETH need to close above to be bullish? Well, ETH right now is above some bullish levels. So Ethereum right now, Ethereum just got above that yearly PIV yesterday. We came back, retested it today. We're kind of closing right on it, right a little bit below it by $1 or $2. But staying above this yearly pivot is critical for Ethereum. Very critical for Ethereum. Our next targets to the upside, once we can get into this weekly range here above 2055, are 2176 and 2187. And then we have another target, which is putting us back into the February range between 2543 and 2711 once we start getting back above there. But getting above this yearly pivot of 1976 is super important. Super important for XRP. I mean, for Ethereum, sorry. Crypto Mason said XRP could do $5 at its lowest, but if it goes to super cycle, $9. Yes. In a super cycle, in a crypto super cycle, I've always said that XRP realistically can go somewhere between $3 to $5. We hit almost $3, or we did hit $3 at some point earlier in this run, and then it's cooled off like everything else. Now, a super cycle obviously changes everything, right? A super cycle changes everything. A super cycle changes everything because Bitcoin is going to be breaking out of its 4-year cycle. It's going to be running a lot further than people expect, allowing altcoins to run a lot longer than expected, and things can get very crazy. Market cap for crypto overall can get very, very wild. So yes, I will agree that in a super cycle, right, if Bitcoin continues to run well above 150,000 to 200 or 200,000 plus, right, into 2026, yes, XRP can continue running. We're talking about Bitcoin going into, 4, 5, maybe even $6 trillion market cap, allowing the entire crypto market maybe potentially running up to 10 trillion or higher, right? Some crazy number like that, which will be very obviously massive. And then XRP, if XRP hits $10, that's $1 trillion asset. I don't think it's going to go that far that fast, but a super cycle is unpredictable. We've never seen one. We don't know how far, how fast things can go with Bitcoin and the altcoins at that point in time. Guys, if you're not in the Crypto Citadel already, I definitely recommend you guys to go join. It is the bee's knees. If you guys are not traders, you guys are more than welcome to join in here. It's $99 a month. And if you're not traders, we do cater to the long-term holders here massively. We do a lot of macro analysis with targets to the upside, targets to the downside, so you can dollar cost average and have game plans to be able to take profits on the way up. So this is all the long-term analysis that we post here all the time for the non-traders, right? If you are traders, we do post signals. We post signals for trades. We took a Solana short. We've taken Bitcoin shorts. We've taken all types of shorts here and longs, and been making money left and right in here. If you guys want to do trading, we also do live trading sessions that we're going to be starting heavily next week. So definitely do so. Long-term holders, day traders, swing traders, you guys are all welcome to come on in, and you can get 50% off with the promo code Citadel. If you type in the promo code Citadel, you get 50% off your first month, and the group has been paying for itself with the trades that we've been taking. So appreciate all of you guys joining in. The link is in the bio and the profile. Let's see here. Solana is in trouble as it seems to be stuck. I mean, all the altcoins are stuck, man. All the altcoins are stuck. It's all going to be dependent on Bitcoin and where it's going. Solana is just continuing to stay down here. We do have a naked point of control for quarter 1 down here at $97. If we lose this 117 and start closing below it, we could be going down to 197. And then if that doesn't hold, $73 is going to be the next big target for Solana. But, you know, we do have a lot of big targets to the upside. Between 194 and 247, we have lots of targets for the upside as well. I'm new to crypto. Welcome, Brian, to the most stressful industry of your life. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Going to be jumping off here pretty soon. I got to go start getting ready to do some family time. And then later tonight at around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time, once again, starting to update the Crypto Citadel with the new Bitcoin trade setups and any potential altcoin signals that come up, so we can start taking some trades later tonight if they show up, right? It's all about, we can't force the trades. We can only take the best trades possible. So if you guys want more exclusive analysis, whether it's macro for all of you long-term holders or daily trade setups or signals, make sure you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel. Get 50% off your first month with the promo code Citadel. And I'll see all of you guys in there. Until next